terms of our experience of MIPIM, and we continue to live through fast-changing and unsettling times for all of our colleagues, clients and partners. For the last 8 days, we've been in an information gathering phase as we await detailed information from Reed Meadem, the organisers of MIPIM, about the logistical and financial implications of the postponement to June for our clients. Our priority has been to communicate all available information as soon as we have it, and to listen to your own feedback in terms of your ability and appetite to support a delegation in June. This continues to be an evolving picture as news of the coronavirus outbreak across the UK and Europe emerges. I would personally like to thank all of you for your support and kind words to me and my team over this difficult time, and we will continue to work with you as we move through the next few days. We hope to be in a position very soon to provide enough information for a decision to be made as to next steps. And as ever, the health and safety of our clients, partners and our team are at the forefront of our thinking, closely followed by the commercial impact on our clients and our subcontractors and partners that help deliver the London stand. In the meantime, we did feel it was appropriate to offer the opportunity for those of you that wanted to come together from our London delegation to do so here at our home in the building centre. And we're delighted to have some of our key partners from the London delegation here tonight to share some messages that they planned to share with you at MIPIM, alongside some of their own reflections on the current situation. We're recording the speeches and we'll be sending them out to all the London delegation and through our social media channels immediately after these speeches finish. So I'm delighted to welcome, and I'll list all our speakers tonight and then I'll let them come up one in turn and speak to you. So we have Jules Pipe, Deputy Mayor for Planning, Regeneration and Skills, Catherine McGuinness, Chair of Policy and Resources at the City of London Corporation, Councillor Darren Rodwell, Leader of Barking and Dagenham Council, and Samantha McClary, Editor of EG. Each of them are going to say a few words tonight, and I look forward to speaking to you all later. Thank you.
Thanks very much, Nick. I was looking at the background here. It is less, obviously, London at MIPIM and more MIPIM at London tonight. I invite you all to kind of look down at this map, which we've often seen in another place. Close your eyes, and you can just imagine the sound of the sea, maybe, and the noise of the traffic on the Croisette. I've got to start with some thanks. Certainly to Colin Tweedy from the Chief Executive of the Building Centre and Peter Murray at NLA for hosting us tonight. So I think a big round of applause, I think, is for them. And also Nick for organising, and not least, diverting the wine supply, which genuinely was on its way to France, but actually got diverted back to here tonight. So thank you, Nick. Round of applause for you. It's kind of difficult to know where to start, I have to confess, because clearly someone with my role should be talking about messages of reassurance, and to this audience about business as usual. And I'm not going to surprise you. I am going to say some things about that. But it's absolutely crucial that I do start by saying what is, I'm sure, obvious to everybody, that this isn't an issue about, or shouldn't be an issue about, scaremongering. This isn't an issue about even health. It's not about a virus. This is about people. You know, many of the people in this room are in the well-being business. We try to create places that foster the well-being of our population. And I think what we're facing over the next few months is about all the different facets of well-being. Yes, there will be health. Yes, there will be mental health about people's response to what we face. But it'll also be about community and pulling community together. So if there's one thing I'd leave you with tonight is about thinking, all of us thinking about, you know, with so much well-being expertise in the room, about how we might apply that in the coming months as we go through what I say is a very people-based issue. And it's highlighted by the fact that, you know, the very sad news that there has now been the first person who is in London who has now died of COVID-19. So obviously our thoughts are with their family and friends at what's a difficult time. And it's a difficult time for all Londoners. But I have to say, as Deputy Mayor, one of the Deputy Mayors for London, that the Mayor is taking action to absolutely ensure that we're prepared for anything that could get bigger, a more widespread outbreak. He's in regular contact with Public Health England, making sure that we all have, and then people we disseminate it to, have the absolute latest advice. Last week he convened an advisory group with the key emergency services to discuss preparations. And London's systems are well rehearsed and are very sensitive to what is inevitably an emerging situation. What we must do always, though, is to reassure ourselves that London does have a mature and a very well-developed response to things like a pandemic influenza outbreak. You know, we've been adapting, you know, people at City Hall and within the health services have been adapting their frameworks that they have specifically for coronavirus and bringing together, whether it's Public Health England, the NHS, local authorities, the London Resilience Forum, the Deputy Mayor for Fire and Resilience and the Chair of the London Resilience Forum. They've established a working group to monitor the situation and specifically to ensure that everyone is responding as required. We don't have any plans at the moment to shut down the tube or the transport network. There's always a caveat to that. If Public Health England advise otherwise, it's right to follow the advice from experts. But in the meantime, we'll be obviously using Transport for London information networks to be able to publicise things to people as they come and go from the network. Businesses across the capital, I think, are already taking sensible actions to protect employees, put in place business continuity plans, and, you know, I think I'd like to, you know, leave the sort of the wartime 1940s bit to our current Prime Minister. But, you know, the whole keep calm and carry on thing, it's absolutely apposite, I think, in this situation. It's also worth remembering what a strong and dynamic, innovative, resilient city London is. Always has been, always will be. There'll inevitably be social and economic impacts of this in the short term, but we all know that London bounces back, as we have so many times before. The strong fundamentals that many of you in this room will have heard me talk about previously, you know, the very deep talent pool, the complex business ecosystem that we have here, the entrepreneurial spirit. London will continue to thrive despite whatever is thrown at us, whether it's economic or whether it's through nature. We're going to continue to attract talent, visitors, venture capital, FDI, well into the future. And at City Hall, our focus continues to be on developing the right policies, the right programmes, the right partnerships to create the right conditions for what we are always talking about, good growth, enabling people and businesses to flourish whilst protecting our environment. And that's the golden thread that runs through all our work, and all our work with many of you, the partners in this room, from delivering more of the well-connected spaces and workspaces that Londoners need, to cleaning up our air, to making London a net zero carbon city, improving adult skills, and promoting the good work standard and encouraging businesses to pay the London living wage, and so much more. You're all crucial partners to help us achieving those outcomes, and we look forward to working with you long into the future and doing that very successfully. Thank you very much. I'd like to hand over to Catherine McGuinness.
Thank you very much, Jules. And for those wondering still what a chair of policy is, I'm the equivalent of the borough leader for the City of London, but we're not a borough, and we don't have a leader, as my members are very fond of reminding me. It's great to see you all here this evening, and this is genuinely a fantastic place to be. It's got really interesting exhibitions on the wall. It's a great building, and I really enjoy being here. It isn't, though, quite the same as being down in Cannes, and it is a shame that we can't all be there promoting London to the world. I don't know about you, I thought I'd deleted all my appointments, but every so often, normally when the rain is falling particularly hard or something else is going wrong, I get something flash up on the screen. Last night it was cocktails or something with London councils, and it sounded really much more enticing than whatever I was doing at the time. And it must be a particular disappointment for those of you, I mean, I've been to MIPIM a couple of years, having gone originally as a sceptic, but then discovering how useful it is if you use the time well, if you really set up your meetings and really put commitment into it. And I know a lot of you will have worked very hard over months to really try to make something of these last few days, and it will be a disappointment that that hasn't happened. So can I suggest another round of applause? I mean, our team, for example, I'm very grateful to my team who would have set up a wonderful period. So let's give ourselves a round of applause for what we would have done had we been there. So if it happens in June, we'll be very keen to support. But obviously, public safety has to come first. And like other local authorities across London, the City of London Corporation is, across the UK, the City of London Corporation is working with Public Health England to ensure that we're doing everything that we can to combat the spread of COVID-19. We know that London is resilient and will weather whatever challenges this virus presents. Indeed, we in the City of London know it better perhaps than anywhere else. We've got the new Stone Age over there, but we in the City of London started in the old Stone Age. And I defy any of you to say that some of our practices haven't moved on since. They definitely have. But you know, we have, in our little square mile, we've seen London Bridge falling down, and we've seen the taxes which we raised to rebuild London Bridge over and over again, now used actually to fund a major grant-giving charity which works across London with communities. We've seen the Great Fire and all the devastation which that caused, and that led to the insurance industry, which is so important these days. And of course, we've seen financial crises come and go. And throughout all of that, London has thrived and London has continued. And should London have a presence at a rescheduled MIPIM, or in any event, we will be reminding people that this is a globally connected city that remains an attractive destination for people from all around the world to live and work. A place which has been at the epicentre of global trade and finance for centuries and remains the crucible of innovation. It's home to more bank head offices than any other place in the world. It's home to more company headquarters than any other city in Europe. And it has the world's most attractive business district, according to a survey carried out by EY for, wait for it, Paris La Défense. I can't imagine they were very pleased with the results of that survey when it hit their desks. We're really keen to make sure that it remains that way and to play our part in ensuring that London maintains its status. So we will be carrying on promoting what happens, what we do well. We'll be promoting in our little square mile, Culture Mile, for example, just drawing people's attention to the fact that it's a great cultural destination as well as the world's leading financial centre. We'll be supporting investment across London and indeed making our own investment into London. We're moving our 3 wholesale food markets, Smithfield, Billingsgate and New Spitalfields, to a new site, which, if this plan were big enough, would be just through that wall. So don't tell me we're not breaking new boundaries. We're moving it to Barking and Dagenham, we hope, and working with the great regeneration that's happening out there to open up a whole part of London, which is already fantastic, but could be doing so much more into the future. And we will also be leading the way towards carbon zero and a sustainable capital. And at the same time, we want to make sure that our square mile remains a great place to be. So we have an innovative and adventurous transport strategy which will prioritise pedestrians and cyclists and make it a pleasanter place to walk around and traverse. So we have a lot going on. We're very grateful to you for joining us, and I hope that we can continue to share with you the opportunities which London offers. Just to echo Jules, let's keep calm, let's keep washing our hands. I'm getting fed up with that. Let's keep calm, let's keep washing our hands, and let's keep our sense of humour as we go through these next few difficult weeks and months. And on your way out, please do take a bag. We would have been handing this out in MIPIM. We would have been handing it out full of an opportunity for you to put in all the other things you could have picked up. And here in London, it'll be very useful. It's not so big that anything you stick in it will start a panic. We'll strip the shelves. Just big enough to fill with whatever you need. So please take one on your way out. And thank you again for listening. And I hand over to Darren Rodwell, leader of Barking and Dagenham.
Okay, you've heard from a great Deputy Mayor, you've heard from the lead of the Corporation of London. let's listen to London's councils, which is working alongside our partners. But in East London, we don't take life too serious. So, with that being said, and it was very done by Catherine there, let's not take life too serious. We are here to build London, no matter what comes in front of us. We've had the plague, we've had the Blitz. But you know what? We're not even on this ruddy map. London has got to move east. Yeah? Nick, I know it's taking some. Creating a virus just so you don't have to enlarge this map is taking it a bit far though, right? But it is important that we just carry on. Because you know what? Our forefathers and mothers carried on. No matter what has been in front of them, they carry on. And I say to everyone today, if we are to carry on building London for the 21st century, we need to look at ourselves and say, what do we need as infrastructure? What do we need for the homes for the Londoners of tomorrow? What do we need if we are going to carry on being a world-connected city? Yes, I accept there are hard times. It's not the first, it won't be the last. We can stand here and mope about how we're not in the south of France. Well, do you know what? Southend is just as good to me. So what we need to do is carry on doing business. We need to carry on networking with each other. More importantly, telling the world why London is the place to do business. And if in June we are lucky enough to go out into the tropics, when it's my wife's birthday, so I'm not sure I will be there, gentlemen. I may run a council, I do not run indoors. But the truth of the matter is, we've got to carry on. And I won't give it to our Prime Minister, keep calm and carry on. I will give it to the tens of thousands of people 80 years ago that through the Blitz carried on building a community. The biggest house building programme that ever happened after the Second World War. Our schooling system happened after the Second World War. The NHS was developed after that war. And the welfare state was there to look after everyone after that war. They are what we need to think about when we are looking at what we need to do to carry on developing London and the rest of the country so we can stay world connected. Please don't leave it to our politicians. Bloody useless, the lot of us. Thank you very much.
I'm only ever called Samantha when I'm naughty, and I must have been naughty if I've had to follow Darren, Catherine and Jules, so thanks. So usually when I stand up here, I'm usually in lycra, a little bit sweaty. I purposely wore some PVC today just to get that sort of lycra vibe. I don't do that just because I'm a bit weird, but usually I've cycled to Cannes with 100 plus other property cyclists who worked really hard over 6 days to raise huge amounts of money for charity. Obviously we were unable to do that this year, but a lot of those cyclists have kept calm and carried on. They've cycled on and have together completed some amazing feats. We had a group who cycled to Bristol and back, which is quite a long way, and you've all seen what the weather has been doing. And then over the past few days, there has been a relay of intrepid cyclists who have been cycling pretty much consistently, thank you for the shush, around Regent's Park to make up the distance that it usually takes us to travel down to Cannes. That's 1,500 kilometres. I think that Regent's Park, the circumference is about 4 kilometres. So you can imagine how many times they've gone around that park. And they've been doing that to make sure that Coram, the principal charity of the Cycle to MIPIM, doesn't lose out. And I think it's really, really important that, you know, while we as businesses might not be able to go to MIPIM, that we don't let those who can't help the situation suffer. So if people haven't been following those cyclists and are feeling a little bit generous, and want to put their hand in their pocket and give a pound, a penny, I don't care, anything, to help that charity, please do go to justgiving.com and search Cycle to MIPIM, and you will see all of the cyclists. I know any donation will be gladly received. So the theme for MIPIM this year was meant to be the future is human. So I wanted to talk to you for just a short while about what does human mean in the real estate sector. I've given you a little example of it there with the cyclists, but for me it means doing the right thing, about having a purpose and caring about what you deliver. It's something that I and that we as a community and EG take very seriously. We have a duty of care, and a duty as your essential source of intelligence and information to do the right thing, to have a purpose and to care about what we are delivering. Many of you will know that I'm not particularly shy when it comes to talking about these things. I was just told today by Damien that oftentimes when people read what I write, they think they're being told off, which I said, do they know me? Because that's what I do, but with love. But we're about holding real estate to account on what it can do better, and about showcasing those areas where you are doing better, and there are many, many of those areas. But we as EG need to make sure that we do that too, and we are. You will have seen, I hope, that we're doing what we can to reduce our own carbon footprint with a change in the magazine, a change that has enabled us to save 20,000 tonnes of paper a year. And that is just the start of our journey. At EG, we're committed to delivering you the tools that the industry needs to do its job better, more purposefully, and hopefully a little bit more profitably. We're committed to making sure that we deliver you the information that enables you to make sound, well-informed, and smart decisions. That's why you'll be reading more from us about the role of the built environment in the climate challenge. And while you won't ever shut me up talking about the need for us to develop not just workplaces within the industry that are fit and functional for every single person, no matter their gender, colour, background, physical or cognitive ability, but the places and the spaces in between that are fit for those people too. And those are the conversations that we would have been having at MIPIM. And it's a conversation that we will have had and are having in our live broadcast podcasts. If you were hoping to come to an EG event at MIPIM, don't worry. You can go to egi.co.uk/news or any of our socials and watch from the comfort of your desk. So we would have been having those conversations through discussions about inward investment, about devolution, about tech and about infrastructure. And the reason that we would have been having those kind of discussions in those high-level investment chats is because those discussions are about what real estate and the built environment is about. And the real estate and the built environment is undeniably about people. The future really is human. Thank you.
Thank you very much to all our speakers. Just three quick messages. First of all, the new London Quarterly is out. It would have been down at MIPIM. You can take your copy. There's a really, really good issue. This is a carbon neutral production, which I think we're very proud of as well. Two more things. Firstly, for all of you that aren't NLA members, you should consider becoming one. Whilst we will be adapting our own programme here at the Building Centre and at the City Centre over the next few weeks in response to the current situation, with a greater emphasis on video conferencing, live streaming and digital content, it still remains a fact that joining NLA offers unrivaled value for money and allows people to benefit from the profile, the intelligence and the access to our unrivaled cross-sector network represented by the types of companies in this room, and it costs as little as £20 per month for an individual membership. Secondly, the London Real Estate Forum, we'd made a decision to move to September before this came along, and will now take place in the Barbican in the City of London on the 9th and 10th of September, and we anticipate that at the start of the autumn season to be the busiest yet. So thank you for coming, thanks for your patience through this difficult time, and we look forward to working with you all going forward. Thank you.